This sounds even too crazy for the crazies who govern us, but Dutch farmers are to be forced to sell their farms to the government.
Well, guys, we've seen them talking about it for months now and farmers protesting about it, but I guess now the time has come. The Dutch WEF puppet government plans to buy out and close down 3,000 farms, I guess because who needs food security?
I don't fucking believe it. You better believe it, because it's fucking happening.
Yeah, this they're gonna do, despite being number 2 for meat exporters around the world, meaning it's gonna affect everyone, not just the Dutch. Now, some of you will likely know that this is a stated goal of globalist scumbags who want us eating less meat, and this, it seems, is how they're gonna do it.
Well, like they say, of course, that it's because of a nitrogen crisis, which is completely manufactured and made up. We don't have a nitrogen crisis. But what we do have in the Netherlands is a housing crisis, because our government lets in over 100,000 migrants a year, approximately. So obviously, our population is growing, and it's not because the Dutch native people are having a ton of babies. We all know that. So these people need to live somewhere. And there is no space left in the Netherlands. So what will they need to do? They will need to seize some of the land of these farmers in order to house new Dutch people, the newcomers of our country. So that is what this is really about. And of course, there's also the element of our elites not wanting us to have an independent or control over our food supply. And they obviously also don't want us to eat meat. So the farmers are standing in the way of their plans, and that's why they are being targeted right now.
Obviously, it's insane and related to the net zero crap we hear about all the time, as is much of the lunacy we actually see these days.
You know, we own the science, and we think that the world, should know it.
Now, the openly admitted plan for this is to buy out the farmers by paying them something like 120% market value for the land. This will be a decent chunk of money because, as you know, land is valuable.
I really can't say anything else about it. It is theft. They are taking away these people's property. They are taking away their lives. They are taking away businesses that have been in Dutch families for centuries sometimes.
This, they say, is being done to help the environment, but you can be sure the land will be covered in buildings within a few years as they push for lab-grown food instead.
But what we do have in the Netherlands is a housing crisis, because our government lets in over 100,000 migrants a year, approximately. So these people need to live somewhere. And there is no space left in the Netherlands. So what will they need to do? They will need to seize some of the land of these farmers in order to house new Dutch people.
These globalists care about as much about the environment as Jimmy Savile did about the innocence of children. They are the scum of the earth, only a step below Savile and his ilk, if you ask me. Now, obviously, it is possible that the Dutch farmers will tell the government to take a hike when they try to buy their land, and this might delay it a bit. But eventually the government will move in with compulsory purchase orders forcing these people out because they're not following their own script or anything like that. They're dancing to someone else's tune.
Please stop! I can't control myself!
This is something I'm sure they can do, as they can literally do it here in the UK, and even if they can't, they'll change the laws to allow them to bloody do it. These people, as you likely know, don't serve the Dutch people or the interests of the country itself. They serve their own interests and the interests of their puppet masters, which in no way benefits the Netherlands at all.
Yes, you'd think it is too crazy to be true, but it's not too crazy because our government consists of a bunch of inhumane, greedy liars and thieves. So it's very much what we are dealing with right now.
Now, it should be said that similar things are happening here and have been for a bloody while. There are already incentives for farmers to quit, handed out by the government and obviously paid for by you. This is and has been for a while a war on farms and food production, which is now ramping up as they push their plans further and further. Hopefully the farmers continue to resist and make these governments take their farms to expose just how corrupt and scummy that they actually are. Maybe then people will ask the questions we've been asking for a while and actually help us bloody stop it.
Where